Welcome to part 1 of my 1 to 60 Alliance leveling guide. This part of the guide was recorded on the classic servers, so it is 100% accurate, but make sure to check out the introduction video if you haven't already. You'll also find in the description a raw video of my 1 to 15 run on the beta, and I'll be uploading a changelog video soon to cover all the minor changes for other parts of the guide. But if you're ready to start on our 5-day adventure together, let's jump into it. When logging into the game for the first time, consider disabling any add-ons that aren't updated to avoid them causing you any trouble, and make sure to create an alt with an easy to remember name that will be serving as our mailing alt. Once the first loading screen is over, be ready to hit escape if you want to skip the introduction cinematic, disable tips if they pop up, and move forward in front of you to accept a threat within from William, then run into the Abbey to turn it in to accept the follow-up Kobold Camp Cleanup, then run back outside to William again for the next quest, Egan Peltskinner.
What can I do for you?
Next, move along the outside of the Abbey to turn in Egan Peltskinner for the quest Wolves Across the Border, then make your way north to start working on the two quests.
Good day to you.
Now, if you're here playing at a server's launch, your questing path should prioritize completing all of the Kobold-based quests as quickly as possible before they become too contested. You want to try to make sure you are always swinging your sword to keep up your damage as well as you move between different targets here, as any second that you are not swinging your weapon is permanently lost damage, but your focus should be on tagging enemies. When tagging, be careful not to get too overeager. As a warrior, you can generally handle 2 on you, but if you start pulling 3 constantly, you'll have to stop to eat, which defeats the purpose of the speed. Consider grouping with nearby players to get these kobold quests done as fast as possible just to get out of the cluster early on. But because of dynamic respawns, it shouldn't be required. In a worst case scenario, just pick 2 or 3 kobold spawns and kill them as they pop up, and you should get the 10 you need to finish Kobold Camp Cleanup. Once it's done, make your way back to the Abbey to turn in the quest. Try to kill wolves along the way and loot everything you can for money early on, but we're not in a rush to finish Wolves Across the Border just yet. When you turn in Kobold Camp Cleanup, accept the 2 follow-ups, Investigate Echo Ridge and A Simple Letter, then go to the southeast section of the Abbey inside to turn in A Simple Letter and train Battle Shout and put it on a hotkey bar. Then head out of the Abbey and talk to William again for the quest Brotherhood of Thieves.
How are you?
Next, make your way back north, and this time we're going to target Kobold Workers. You'll find most of the spawns you want just outside of the northern cape and around the mountains. It's a good idea to go for these ones rather than the ones around the tents because they are separated from the vermin spawns, so are less likely to get killed by people on the previous step of this quest behind you. During this time, be sure to always keep Battle Shout up and pay attention to the loot you are getting from the kobolds. More often than not, they will be dropping grey armor pieces that you should equip to quickly get rid of your naked status.
Need more rage. Not enough rage.
Once the 10 workers are dead, begin grind/moving southeast and killing anything you can along the way until you start encountering the wolves. Grind moving is something you should get into the habit of as a warrior. It means constantly killing enemies while you move to keep your rage flowing and DPS output up and experience gain up. Just be aware that mobs in the early zones move slow, so you'll sometimes have to stagger your movement to keep them in range of your sword. The wolves we want will spawn over a large area around the outside of the Abbey. You don't need to complete the quest just yet, but try to get as many of the wolf meat you can right now, and make sure you are at least level 3 before crossing the water towards the Defiance south.
I can't carry anymore.
When you are ready, cross the water and start killing the Defiance and looting them for their bandanas to complete the quest Brotherhood of Thieves. The Defiance spawn over a large area, so make sure to move around as needed to find spawns for the quest. Be aware of your armor at this time. If you haven't gotten many pieces of armor yet and still have empty slots, it's very likely you'll be having trouble killing 2 of these Defiance guys at the same time. Whereas if you are in full gray mail, you can probably be a bit more reckless with your pulls.
Inventory.
Once you've gotten the quest Brotherhood of Thieves complete, make your way back over the water and this time around try to kill the wolves still needed to finish wolves across the border, and remember to kill while moving still as you head back to the quest givers. Turn in Brotherhood of Thieves for the sword reward and equip it, then accept the bounty on Garrick Padfoot and Millie Osworth, then visit the vendor to clear your bags and sell what you can to get at least 2 silver. Even consider selling stuff you are wearing if you are short. Then go into the Abbey and turn in Investigate Echo Ridge and accept the follow-up Skirmish at Echo Ridge, which should hit you to level 4. So hop by your trainer and use your 2 silver to train Charge and Rend.
What can I do for you? For the Alliance.
Then head back around the outside of the Abbey to turn in wolves across the border and make your way to the northern cave.
You need something? Have a good one.
With Charge and Rend now available to us, you want to use Charge as a mobility tool as much as possible to get places faster, and utilize Rend as your main damage ability. It's a good idea to get add-ons like Mob Health and Classic Aura Durations, links in the description. These add-ons will let you know how many ticks your Rend has left and how much HP an enemy has left, so you basically know when your Rend will finish off a mob and can start ignoring it. This will help with your kill speed and prevent you from wasting damage on targets that will die to Rend anyway. When you reach the cave, grab every laborer that you can and start working on Skirmish at Echo Ridge. If the place is a bit too crowded, consider grouping up for it just to get it done. And again, if you are following this guide at launch, you should instead target this quest immediately after Investigate Echo Ridge is done, just to get it out of the way as soon as possible before this cave gets too hectic.
I need to get closer.
Once you get the 12 that you need to finish the quest, Charge grind your way back to the outside of the Abbey on the east side to talk to Millie Osworth.
I can't.
Turn in the quest Millie Osworth and accept the follow-up Millie's Harvest, then continue south back to the Defiance.
I'm out of money.
This time around, our target is going to be to kill Garrick Padfoot and loot the Great Barrels to complete Millie's Harvest. Garrick can be found at the small shack southeast of the Grape Fields, and he has roughly a 2-minute respawn timer. So if you find other players waiting around for him, it's a good idea to group up and start working on the grapes while you wait for his respawn, if he's not up when you get there initially.
Need more rage. I can't carry any more of them.
For the grapes, looting them shouldn't be hard as they respawn fairly fast, but don't be shy about killing the Defiance if you can in excess, as more experience is always better here to help us hit level 6 when we reach Shire. Also make sure to be continuously looting everything you kill, as we'll want to have at least 2 silver 9 copper when we get to Shire.
Not ready. I can't do that yet.
Once you've killed Garrick though, and looted the 8 grapes you need to complete both quests, make your way back to the eastern side of the Abbey outside to turn in Millie's Harvest and accept her follow-up quest, Grape Manifest.
You need something? See you later.
Then move around the front of the Abbey. Go inside and turn in Skirmish at Echo Ridge and accept the follow-up, Report to Shire. Then go up the stairs to the top of the Abbey building and turn in Grape Manifest.
Hey there. See you later.
Once it's turned in, you can jump back down the Abbey and run out of the building and turn in Bounty on Garrick Padfoot just outside. The ideal reward here generally is the leather chest for warriors if you haven't gotten a male grey one yet. But now we are ready to head to Goldshire. Make your way along the road south out of the Abbey and grab the quest at the entrance titled Rest and Relaxation.
Hello.
Now, as we make our way out here, waiting for us at Goldshire is 45 Discovery Experience, 230 for Report to Goldshire, and 110 for Rest and Relaxation. That means we want to be at minimum 385 Experience away from Dinging 6 before we go to Goldshire, so that we will level up from the turn-ins. The ideal way to go about this is to clear west off the road outside of the Abbey through the Defiance, where we will find the Herbalism Trainer. Kill the Defiance and wolves you find here excessively to get linen and experience until you are at least 2,415 experience towards level 6, then beeline up the mountain path west of the Defiance camps towards the house in the hill. Do not worrying about aggroing too many Defiance here, as they still run slower than you, so you can run away if it gets dicey. Just be sure you are strafe moving to avoid getting dazed and you should be fine.
Need more rage.
When you get to the top of the hill, talk to the NPC on the right inside the house to learn herbalism and start tracking herbs. Then we'll make our way out of the house down south to Goldshire. For herbalism, you don't need to go too much out of your way to level it just yet. It takes up bag space and you'll want to get ahead of the Zerg a bit first. There will be plenty of chances to level it later, so just grab herbs that are located conveniently for you as you quest through Elwynn Forest. When you reach Goldshire, turn in Report to Goldshire and accept the Fargo Deep Mine, then go inside the inn and turn in Rest and Relaxation. Don't forget to set Goldshire as your Hearthstone location at the same NPC, then talk to the NPC by the bookcase to accept the quest Kobold Candles.
You need something? How are you?
Next, run upstairs and into the corner room to learn first aid for 1 silver, then head out of the inn.
How are you? Safe travels.
If you can afford it, talk to the smithing trainer inside the foundry and learn blacksmithing. Then on the other end of the foundry, talk to the warrior trainer and learn parry. You can also train thunderclap as well if you have enough silver.
Well met.
Lastly, talk to the man in the southern tent for the quest Gold Dust Exchange, then charge south and start killing boars.
Good day to you.
Now, for this next section, we want to make our way southwest towards the Stonefield Farm to grab the quests Lost Necklace and Princess Must Die, but we also want to begin working on the other objectives along the way. Firstly, a quest coming up asks us for 4 boar meat, so kill every boar you see on the way to get the meat as soon as possible. Additional meat will help us start out leveling cooking when we get back to Goldshire after this quest cycle. We ideally want a total of 9 wolf or boar meat, in addition to the 4 boar meat we need for the quest, to enable us to learn a level 10 cooking recipe when we return to Goldshire. You should also kill any kobolds you see on the way to start working on the Gold Dust Exchange quest and the Kobold Candles quests. When you eventually do reach the McClure farm fields to the southwest, accept the 2 quests Princess Must Die and the Lost Necklace, then begin making your way east to the Stonefield Farm. As this next quest requires some back and forth between the farms, be sure you are utilizing charge to move fast and kill any kobolds and boars you see on the way. The kobolds should be dropping the quest items for gold dust exchange and kobold candles, but the drop rate isn't really high, so you should start working on it as soon as possible. Ideally, get as much done as you can before too many players get here.
It's too far away. Not ready. That ability isn't ready. More rage. Not enough rage.
When you reach the Stonefield farm on the east side of the mine, turn in Lost Necklace for the follow-up, then enter the house on the southern end of the farm and accept the quest Young Lovers. If the NPC isn't there, it simply means she's RPing, so wait a few seconds and she'll reappear.
You need something?
Then make your way back west, clearing along the shores of the boars until you get to the western river. Just be cautious of the high level bears here that can make quick work of you if you aggro them. When you get to the western river, follow it north and you should find an NPC to turn in the quest Young Lovers and accept the follow-up Speak with Grandma. At this time, you'll need to have the 4 boar meat, so keep killing boars until you have at least 4, then go to the farmhouse at the McClure farm fields and turn in Lost Necklace for the next quest, and inside the house, turn in Speak with Grandma for the follow-up. Once more then, we will need to clear east back to the Stonefield farm to turn in the pie at Billy for the last follow-up, which will send us into the mine.
Not ready. That ability isn't ready yet.
Now we are ready to clear into the mine and fully commit to completing the 4 quests. 2 of the quests inside the mine, Gold Dust Exchange and Kobold Candles, are loot based and require the most amount of time. Grouping up for them doesn't really help you, it's all about how well you can tag the mobs. So try to get these 2 done as soon as possible before masses of players are swarming the mine. The 3rd quest, Fargo Deep Mine, will complete simply by walking through the mine on the lower level, so I recommend you enter through the lower entrance. The last quest, the final part of the Lost Necklace chain, wants you to kill a named kobold Goldtooth for the necklace. Goldtooth spawns on the ramp at the back of the mine that links the lower level to the upper level, and he has a roughly 1 to 2 minute respawn timer similar to Garrick Padfoot. I recommend killing kobolds around his spawn until you get him, just be aware that he is level 8 and will flee, so while in this mine be sure to continuously loot the kobolds for armor upgrades, linen for bandages, and rough stones. The kobolds in the tunnel have a roughly 5% rough stone drop rate, and because we took blacksmithing, you should be able to convert those stones into sharpening stones, which will give you a little edge for the next few levels, so don't be shy about stockpiling them here and now. You likely won't get rough stones anywhere else along your leveling journey. If you find that your bags are getting full, be sure to visit the vendor at the McClure farm outside of the barn west of the mine. We have a lot of purchases to make when we get back to Goldshire, so you want to make as much silver as possible. Dying in this mine is also a real threat because of how crowded it is if other players aren't around, so be cautious about how you pull them and be wary of respawns on top of you. Once you manage to complete all 4 of the quests, we also want to get about roughly 1800 experience towards level 8 before leaving in order to guarantee that we'll hit level 8 when we return to Goldshire, so we can train before the next quest cycle. When you get to 1800 experience, or if you find the Fargo Deep Mine is too crowded, make your way back outside to the McClure farm field to turn in the Lost Necklace quest. Then you can grind northwest on the wolves and boars until you are at least 2700 experience away from level 8, then you will be ready to head to Goldshire.
Not ready. I can't do that yet.
Once you hit the threshold, if you cleared yourself close to Goldshire, you can just run back there, otherwise use your Hearthstone. In Goldshire, turn in the quests The Fargo Deep Mine, Gold Dust Exchange, Kobold Candles, and Note to William, and you should get a quest from the man at the tent in the south called A Fishy Peril, which turns in at the nearby guard for further concerns. You should also get follow-ups, shipments to Stormwind, collecting kelp, and the Jasper Lode mine. So once you have those 4 quests and are level 8, clear up your bags, and I recommend vendoring the quest rewards despite how good they are to help with the purchases coming up.
What can I do for you? See you around. Hello. Safe travels.
From the weapon vendor inside the smith, buy the Gladius, then at the warrior trainer, train all of your new abilities, then head into the inn kitchen. Learn cooking and cook the boar and wolf meat you need to hit level 10 cooking and train the recipe spiced wolf meat from the trainer. If you have more boar meat, you can keep cooking it and selling it. It sells for more money when you cook it. But save the wolf meat for the spiced wolf meat recipe so you can use it as your first stamina food. You can buy spices from the vendor under the tent, but we'll have a chance to cook a lot when we reach Eastvale logging camp. At this point, if you haven't gotten a 6 slot bag, you should sell any herbs you've gathered to buy one for 5 silver. Otherwise, mail your herbs to a mailing alt to keep your bag space cleaned up. But with all of that done, we are ready to head back out onto the next quest cycle, so make your way east out of Goldshire towards the lake. Keep an eye out for herbs and be sure to reapply a sharpening stone to your new sword and start targeting the Merlocks around the lake. With a sharpened weapon and your trained abilities, you can easily handle 2 Merlocks at once, but if things get out of hand, be sure to use hamstring to kite them and reset. Prioritize multi-target pulls of 2 to 3 if your armor is up to date, and tab rend all of the targets and thunderclap them, and you should be able to handle bigger camps in the middle of the Crystal Lake to clear up the quest quickly. If you get here early, you'll likely find chests in these camps as well that should be looted for any extra healing potions you can get. Once you get the 4 kelp and complete the quest collecting kelp, the next target will be the Jasper Lode mine. The only thing to do here is simply run into the mine to complete the quest. The geomancers in the cave can be quite nasty, and we do not have a way to interrupt their spells yet, so you'll need to rely on line of sight to stop their casts and keep an eye out for any usable item that they drop that does instant damage. If you get some, you can use them in sticky situations. All in all though, we do not want to linger in the Jasper Lode mine, so once you get the quest done, start clearing southeast back towards the road. Be sure to clear the wolves around here for plenty of stringy wolf meat and gather herbs along the way, as we have a chance to clear our bags soon in Eastvale. When you reach the road, follow it east to the bridge where you'll find the quest NPC. Turn in the quest Further Concerns and accept the 2 quests Protect the Frontier and Find the Lost Guards, then immediately run north along the river. Start working on the quest Protect the Frontier by targeting the bears in the area. They have many spawn locations around Elwynn, but if you don't get here early, then the young forest bears can be pretty painful to find, so go out of your way to kill them anytime you see some. Once you reach the lake up north, on the shore should be a chunk of red meat. Interact with it to complete the quest Find the Lost Guards and take the follow-up Discover Rolf's Fate. Then cross the river and move southeast towards Eastvale logging camp. Be sure to kill prowlers along the way, but be cautious of the level 10 prowlers as they can easily kill you if you don't take them seriously. Make sure to not double pull the prowlers and pull them at full HP. When you reach the logging camp, on the south side accept the quest Red Linen Goods, and in the middle accept the quest Bundle of Trouble.
You need something? Well met.
You'll then find a vendor in the eastern house to clear your bags, and this vendor has a fire nearby, sells spices, and extra 6 slot bags. So if you still have no 6 slot bags yet, now's the time to grab one and cook your spiced wolf meat so that you have buff food for the next section. When you're ready, we'll start working on the next 3 quests. Firstly, keep killing the bears and wolves for Protect the Frontier. While the prowlers are abundant, try to target the level 9 ones over the level 10 ones.
It's too far away. That ability isn't ready.
Secondly, you'll want to stick around the north side of the logging camp to find bundles of wood at the base of the trees. They respawn fairly quickly, so you shouldn't have trouble snagging them even if the area is crowded. The last task to complete here is to finish Discover Rolf's Fate. To complete this quest, you'll need to clear the Merlock hut to the north towards the eastern side of the lake. The corpse is surrounded by 3 Merlocks that are stationary and 1 that patrols around. If you are here alone, you'll have to deal with this by killing Merlocks one by one. To go about this, pull the group of Merlocks and hit one of them, and then run away and leash the others while only attacking one of them to keep him from leashing. Once the other ones pull back and reset, you should be able to safely kill the one by itself. Continue this until you get to the meat chunk safely, but be wary that the green Merlocks try to use potions at low HP, so try to stockpile rage to spam Heroic Strike and finish them off when they get low, before they can drink a potion. Once you can talk to the meat, turn in Discover Rolf's Fate for the follow-up quest Report to Thomas. With that out of the way, make sure to finish looting the wood for a bundle of trouble on the north side and then turn it in the middle of the camp, as this will open you up to travel around a lot more to finish Protect the Frontier. Don't be shy about even traveling south of the road if you can't find the wolves and bears up north. Once you finish Protect the Frontier, you also want to make sure that you are level 9 or at least 835 experience away from reaching level 9 before heading back to the quest giver at the bridge.
Need more rage. Not enough rage.
When you reach Guard Thomas back at the bridge, turn in Protect the Frontier and report to Thomas, and you should get 2 quests. Deliver Thomas's report and report to Gryan Stoutmantle, and also get 2 lesser healing potions as a reward. With the potions in hand, go southwest to the Brackwell Pumpkin Patch where you will find Defiance Bandits and in the middle of the farm a named boar called Princess. The Defiance Bandits should be killed excessively to get red linen goods progressed. It isn't a big priority to get this done yet, but if you see the bandits you should definitely kill every single one of them. They also have a chance to drop a quest starting item that will be lucky to get, but it's not needed. Instead, focus on killing the boar in the middle. Try to group up if possible with other players, but if not, use the running away method and the healing potions you just got to take her out, and then hamstring kite leash her little baby boars. Be sure to loot her for her collar to complete Princess Must Die. Then once the Defiance Bandits in the area are all dead, use your Hearthstone back to Goldshire.
I can't carry any more of those.
Inside the inn, turn in the quest Collecting Kelp, which will then make the NPC roleplay a bit. Then you should be able to accept the follow-up quest, The Escape.
How are you?
Then outside, turn in the Jasper Lode mine and deliver Thomas's report for the next quest, Cloth and Leather Armor, and Westbrook Garrison needs help.
For the Alliance, King's honor, friend.
Safe travels.
Light be with you.
Mail any herbs you have, vendor to clear your bags, and inside the smith, accept the quest Elmore's Task.
Greetings.
Then we'll be running directly south out of Goldshire back to the Stonefield farm to the house on the south side. Talk to the lady inside to turn in the quest The Escape. Again, if this NPC is not there, just wait a few seconds and she should reappear. Next, go west back to the McClure farm fields and outside the house turn in Princess Must Die for some nice bracers. From here, run northwest over the bridge and road towards the Westbrook Garrison.
Hey there. Safe travels.
That ability isn't ready yet.
Turn in the quest Westbrook Garrison Needs Help, accept Riverpaw Knoll Bounty, and also talk to the wanted poster for the quest Wanted Hogger. Now at this time, we want to set ourselves up to hit level 10 by running to Sentinel Hill through Westfall. Waiting for us in Westfall is a total of 1325 experience, so make your way south of the road and grind on the gnolls and other animals to work on Riverpaw Knoll Bounty until you are exactly or more than 5,175 experience towards level 10. Then you will be crossing the bridge into Westfall regardless of the state of your quests. Talk to the NPCs on the road in Westfall and accept the 3 quests from them, most importantly Westfall Stew. And you can also turn in the Deed quest if you somehow got it, but I am not counting that into your XP calculations here, it's just going to be a bonus. Make sure you also discover the farm just north of the road. Then follow the road west to Saldine's farm and enter the farmhouse to turn in Westfall Stew, but you can wait on accepting the rest of the quests here.
Need help? See you around.
Need help?
Lastly, run south along the road until you reach Sentinel Hill and turn in the quest Report to Gryan Stoutmantle at the tower to ding level 10. And then at the back of the tower, you should be able to accept the quest A Swift Message. Take that quest, then run south to the Flightmaster and turn in the quest for the follow-up Continue to Stormwind, then fly to Stormwind.
Hey there. See you around. Hello. See you.
When you land in Stormwind, go around the trade district to turn in shipment to Stormwind and take the explosive rockets reward.
Good day to you. Have a good one.
Then travel across the trade district to the northeast house and train your crossbow weapon skill if you have over 20 silver. Clear your bags and buy a crossbow and some arrows as well. If you are low on silver though, you can skip this step.
What are you looking for? See you around.
What can I do for you? Light bless you.
Next, make your way to Old Town and south into the Stormwind Barracks, and on the east side you'll find the Warrior Trainer upstairs. Train your level 10 abilities and accept the level 10 Warrior class quest, A Warrior's Training.
Can I help you? Hey there.
Then go outside the barracks and into the building nearby to turn in Continue to Stormwind and accept a Dungar Long Drink as the follow-up.
I buy and trade. Be careful.
Next, go north into the Old Town Tavern and turn in the quest A Warrior's Training and accept Bartleby the Drunk.
Well met. For the Alliance.
Turn it in for Beat Bartleby and beat him up, but just be aware he can be troublesome if you aren't fully equipped yet. Once you beat him, turn in the quests until you get the quest Marshal Haggard and the Defensive Stance ability.
You need something? Greetings. Be careful.
We'll then be done here in Stormwind, so go back to the Flightmaster and turn in the quest Dungar Long Drink for a return to Lewis, then fly back to Sentinel Hill.
King's honor, friend. Go with honor, friend. Light bless you.
When you land in Sentinel Hill, go back to the tower and turn in Return to Lewis, and then it's time to run back to Elwynn Forest through the wilderness here.
See you later.
You can grind move through Westfall's wilderness, but be careful not to aggro more than one enemy, and take them seriously as you'll now be dealing with mobs above level 10. It's important to note as a warrior that all enemies level 10 and below have very nerfed avoidance values, but once you start fighting mobs level 10 and above, they will no longer be little kitty mobs and you'll have to play more cautiously. Once you reach the shore, swim over the water back to Elwynn Forest, where we will start working on the 2 quests Riverpaw Knoll Bounty and Wanted Hogger. For the Riverpaw Knoll quest, there are plenty of single pulls to pick off around the camps, but with the crossbow it's fairly easy to pull the groups at the camps as well just by max range shooting one of the gnolls and then running away until the other gnolls leash. If it's too crowded, you may consider skipping the quest though, as the respawns here don't get to be that fast even when they're dynamic. As for the quest Wanted Hogger, he is an elite that has a very fast respawn timer, but it's randomly around the camps here. Try to find a single other player to group with in order to take him down, and utilize hamstring kiting to allow your party member to kill him while you kite and bandage, and you should be able to duo him with any other class. Don't forget that if you don't see other players around, ask in general chat, as other players may be just hiding on different layers nearby. Also take note that the gnolls do have a chance to drop a quest starting item scroll, so keep an eye out for that if it drops for some free extra experience.
Not enough rage. The ability isn't ready yet.
When you're done with the quests, run back north to the Westbrook Garrison and turn in Riverpaw Knoll Bounty, then start trekking towards Goldshire. As we make this trek across Elwynn, we want to try to finish the quest Red Linen Goods if it's not done yet. So take note that Defiance spawn in many places around Elwynn between us and our next destinations, so be sure to deviate off of the roads to kill them, first by going north around the water to target the bandits at the farmhouse here.
I can't do that yet.
Then, when you reach Goldshire, turn in Wanted Hogger for the male pants, and turn in the scroll quest if you got it, but don't bother with the follow-up. Be sure to clear up your bags and accept Elmore's task from inside the smith if you haven't yet.
Well met. Go with honor, friend.
Then we'll continue on east towards Eastvale Logging Camp, but try to dip down south of the road to Gerard's Landing. It's likely it'll give you discovery experience if you haven't been here yet, and it has a ton more Defiance mobs we can kill to finish off Red Linen Goods if you haven't done that yet. At this time, you can be a bit more reckless with your pulls. Utilize the explosive rockets you got from the quest in Stormwind and Thunderclap and Tab Rending to kill packs of 3 mobs at once. Just make sure to watch your HP and don't go too crazy.
The ability isn't ready yet.
When you eventually make it back east to the bridge before Eastvale Logging Camp, talk to the same guard again and accept the quest bounty on Merlocks, then go into Eastvale Logging Camp to the first house to turn in cloth and leather armor and red linen goods as well if you finished it already, but you still don't actually have to have it done yet, so don't worry if you're not. Then go to the east side of the logging camp to turn in Marshal Haggard for his quest Deadtooth Jack. From here, go directly south of the road to the east side of the tower until you find a camp of Defiance down a small ridge. You should see a mob named Deadtooth Jack hiding at the bottom of the ridge. Carefully clear the camp one at a time using the crossbow method to single out Deadtooth, then kill him one-on-one. Make sure to clear a large area around the camp so you have enough room to use this kiting crossbow method so that you don't accidentally aggro a prowler or a bear in the process. Once you get Deadtooth Jack down, loot him for his key and use it on the chest in the middle of the camp to complete the quest. If you still need red linen goods, kill all of the Defiance in the area until it's finished, then go back north. Turn in Deadtooth Jack for a nice green sword, then we have to finish the 2 quests now, Red Linen Goods and Bounty on Merlocks. There are multiple ways to go about this, based on how contested the area is. The easiest way to complete Bounty on Merlocks is to go south along the river back east, as there are many easy lurker spawns that don't drink potions, and you can find Defiance to the south as well. Alternatively, to the north has a ton of big Murloc camps around the lake, and on the island in the middle there are rogue wizards that you can use to kill to finish Red Linen Goods. Whichever direction you choose, you should easily clear through the mobs with your new green sword, but don't forget to use a sharpening stone on it if you still have an extra one, and keep gathering herbs so that you can reach 15 herbalism by the end of Elwynn to loot Earthroot. When you finish both of the quests, make your way back to the bridge to turn in Bounty on Merlocks, and then turn in Red Linen Goods outside of the house in Eastvale.
King's honor, friend.
Now before we finish with Elwynn, we want to make sure that we'll hit level 12 in Ironforge to train 12 abilities. We have exactly 1635 experience waiting for us on the way to Ironforge, so we need to make sure you kill enough enemies in Elwynn to reach 7,165 experience before leaving, so basically kill anything you can to reach that experience threshold.
I can't carry anymore.
Once you hit it, run east into Red Ridge Mountains along the road and find Guard Parker patrolling around. Talk to him for the quest Encroaching Knolls. Then continue on the road to Lakeshire. When you reach Lakeshire, turn in the quest near the Flight Master and make sure that before you take the flight path, run close enough to the lake to get discovery experience, then run across the bridge into Lakeshire to get discovery experience for Lakeshire as well. Once you've gotten the 220 experience from those 2 discoveries, go back to the Flight Master and fly to Stormwind. In Stormwind, simply run to the Dwarven District and on the northwest side, turn in Elmore's Task. This should unlock a new quest that will not auto-accept, so talk to the dwarf a second time to get the quest Stormpike's Delivery. Then make your way into the Deep Run tram. Wait on the tram to arrive and then ride it to the Ironforge side. Make sure to use this time to make any linen into bandages. When you arrive on the Ironforge side of the tram, talk to the gnome in the middle for the quest to Deep Run Rat Roundup. He'll give you a flute that has a cast bar, but you don't need to stay still to use it, so run around spamming the flute on the rats until you have all 5, and do take note that it does share credit with party members, so you can group up if there's not that many rats around. Once you have the 5, turn them in for 900 experience, and that should ding you to level 12. Don't bother with a follow-up right now, instead make your way into Ironforge, and that is where we will be stopping part 1 of my 1 to 60 Alliance leveling guide. It's possible to get to this point in as little as 2 hours 30 minutes, but if you're a bit slower, don't sweat it. We'll pick it up again here in Ironforge in part 2. Until then, I am booping out. Boop.